The vision shown in this video has been recorded in a controlled setting for the purpose of product installation demonstration purposes only. LYSAGHT ENSEAM combines broad flat pans and a lower yet substantial rib to create a distinct visual dynamic in a cladding. Its clean, good looks and easy style make it an ideal solution for contemporary architectural design. Featuring the striking linear appearance of ENSEAM, SNAPSEAM delivers improved performance attributes thanks to its concealed fixing system. These clips allow for enhanced thermal expansion and contraction, providing greater fixing security and allowing for longer lengths and greater spanning capacity. This video will consider a common roofing and walling installation application for non-cyclonic regions. As part of the LYSAGHT Zenith range, these profiles are supported by the comprehensive Zenith Roofing and Walling Design and Installation Manual, which also has a cyclonic area variant. You will benefit from referring to this installation video and the detailed non-cyclonic manual together. LYSAGHT ENSEAM and SNAPSEAM are available in cover widths from 180mm to 465mm, with two standard sizes of 265mm and 465mm for maximum economy and efficiency. These profiles are available in a 0.55mm base metal thickness or 0.75mm base metal thickness for special projects. LYSAGHT ENSEAM is simply screw fixed using wafer head screws into either steel or timber battens or structural ply backing, while SNAPSEAM is clip fixed to supports. This means that clips are screwed to the supports and no fastener passes through the sheeting. Fix the clips using flathead screws into either steel or timber battens. To minimise the effects of oil canning, the ENSEAM and SNAPSEAM cladding is recommended to keep panel lengths under 8 metres. However, for special project requirements, longer lengths may be available subject to negotiation and minimum order quantities. Both ENSEAM and SNAPSEAM can be readily installed on either battens or structural ply membrane. For roofing applications, a structural ply membrane is required for both ENSEAM and SNAPSEAM cover widths greater than 265mm to provide adequate support for foot traffic during installation and maintenance. Install as per manufacturer's recommendations. It is good practice to install a heavy-duty roof sarking for both roofing and wall applications across all the LYSAGHT Zenith range profiles as an additional weatherproofing measure. Make all laps in the sarking with a 150mm lap. Tape with sisolation tape on at least the outside face. Best practice would be to seal the lap with double-sided tape first. Ensure there are no ripples or puckers. Seal at the top. Follow the manufacturer's installation recommendations. For maximum weather tightness, lay sheets toward prevailing weather. Before lifting sheets onto the roof, check that they are the correct way up. Also, that the overlapping side is toward the edge of the roof from which installation will start. You will find this much easier and safer than trying to turn sheets on the roof. Place bundles of sheets over or near firm supports, not at mid-span of roof members. Order roof sheeting cut to the length of your roofing run, plus an allowance for overhang. For example, into a standard gutter, this may be 50mm extra. Design the pan width of the sheets to allow an even span across the roofing area, ensuring equal barge flashing widths. As this profile is a variable width product, profile-specific turn-up, turn-down tools are not available from LYSAGHT. Select the most appropriate size tool appropriate to your pan width from the various size tools commercially available. To create the turn-up, at the top of the sheet, fit the tool over the end of the tray as far as it will go. Then push the handle to form a turn-up as close to 90 degrees as possible. Based on the width of your tool, you may need to gradually work the turn angle along the edge of the pan until the angle is achieved. Take care not to tear the corner edges of the turn-up. You can turn up sheets anytime. If you do it after they are fixed, make sure there is sufficient clearance to operate the tool effectively. At the gutter end of the sheet, turn down the sheet pan to approximately 20 degrees using the same procedure. Turning down is often done after the sheeting is fixed on the roof, providing there is no obstruction to the operation of the turn down tool. Position the first sheet to align parallel with the building edge. To ensure that the barge flashings are equal on each side of the building, attention should be given to align the first sheet considering the roof run and sheeting cover. Set the planned guttering overhang, in this case 50mm. For end seam, screw fix the underlap edge to battens or ply, taking care to place the screws to the centre of the slotted holes to allow for expansion and contraction. The concealed clip method used on snap seam is a little different. After you have placed your first sheet, screw fix the clips to battens or ply over the underlap edge along the length of the sheet. Ensure to remove protective film from the edges of each sheet before fixing. Cut away the rib at the ridge end of the next sheet so that it sits neatly over the turn-up of the previous sheet. Align and engage the new sheet at the gutter end first. Then clicking the ribs into place using your feet, a rubber mallet or hands protected with gloves. Screw fix or clip the sheet in place as before. Repeat this process for the roof run.
And in between you two guys?
For applications where the roof pitch is in between the minimum 3 degrees and 7.5 degrees, or where the roof run is greater than 5 metres, it is recommended that a bead of silicone is placed along the bend below the underlap rib prior to engaging overlap rib, for end seam only. To complete the roof installation, now fit the barge and ridge flashings. The process is the same for both snap seam and end seam. End seam is shown here. The Australian standards for design of flashings are referenced both in HB 39 2015 and the Zenith Design Installation Manual. Our manual covers the common roof flashing detail, including hip and valleys. LYSAGHT produce all of these and any custom flashings to suit your individual requirements. The barge flashing needs to cover from the building external wall to over the sheeting first rib to provide a weather-tight solution. In situations where the barge top face exceeds 240mm, install a top span 40 batten at the midpoint between the external wall and the first sheeting ridge to support the barge capping. Use screws with a neoprene washer to ensure the right amount of flex between the sheet and the batten. Remove swarf as you go to prevent scratches to the finished surface of the sheeting. The barge capping, in this instance, needs to fully cover the pan to create a dry pan. Otherwise, there is a potential for water ingress via the screw holes created by the batten being fixed. For applications where capped ribs and field hemming has been utilised, the barge cap end can be similarly capped. Extend the barge 40mm beyond the edge of the sheet and then cut and fold the barge sides to close the barge end. With the gutter end in place, mark and measure the ridge end. Cut and fold the ridge end to allow fixing to the frame.
Measure in where our top feel it where we're going to fix.
Screw fix or pop rivet barge cappings to the roof sheeting and external wall at minimum 500mm centres. Once both barges are fixed, the next step is to install the ridge cap. Design the ridge cap to cover the top of the roof sheeting by a minimum of 150mm to allow the toes of the ridge flashing to sit well into the roof pan. Lay the ridge cap over the roof sheets in place and then mark and allow notching over the ribs and detailing around the barge top ends. Notch and cut. Ensure a good fit. Across the ridge barge junction, mark 40mm centres in preparation for drilling rivet holes. Remove swarf. Ensure a good silicone seal and rivet fix. Drill and rivet fix each ridge. All longitudinal flashings need to be screw or rivet fixed at a maximum 900mm centres. The final task is to remove any protective film left on the sheets and give the completed surface an overall clean to ensure any mist, potentially rust-staining swarf is removed. We will now consider a roofing and walling installation, focusing also on a mansard roof detail. A feature of standing seam roof profiles, such as end-seam or snap seam, is that the roof cladding can be aligned with the vertical wall cladding to create a seamless flow from roof to wall. This feature is known as a mansard roof detail. As the process is the same for both end-seam and snap seam, we will just use end-seam in our demonstration. In terms of sarking, look to cover the roof wall corner with a continuous roll of protective membrane. The rest of the process is as per standard roof or wall preparation. Install the sarking behind the wall battens or overply membrane and in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations. Sealed at the top, free from ripples and puckers, lapped and taped at joins. Make all laps in the sarking with a 150mm lap. Tape with isolation tape on at least the outside face. Be sure to plan your order of the end seam or snap seam sheeting, taking into account the visual placement of the seams. Design your sheeting width considering the area to be covered to allow for a symmetrical presentation of the ribs and matching width corner and barge flashings. With the mansard detail, you will need to order your wall sheets over length to allow folding the pan and riveting to the first perpendicular roofing batten. Similarly, the roof sheets will need to be ordered over length to take into account the rib protrusions, 38mm over length. First to be installed in place is the edge wall sheeting, and ensure the first sheet placement allows an equal corner barge flashing treatment. Ensure the wall sheet is sitting plumb. Mark the place across the back of the sheet to position the bend. The overlength top pans of the wall sheet are carefully cut alongside each rib to allow the pans to be folded to match the roofing pitch and can be fixed throughout the first perpendicular roof batten. Screw fix or clip the wall sheeting in place, double checking position and plumb. Mark the height of the top of the roofing overlap rib against the wall rib. Mark the underlap rib to the bend height. Trim off the top of the leading overlap rib as per in-place marks. Trim the underlap rib to the bend height. Prepare the roof sheet, testing the fitting as you go. Trim the pan back to the ribs by the height of the rib, in this case 38mm. Trim the overlapping rib on a 45-degree angle, leaving the underlap rib to be trimmed in place. Check fit in place and trim further as necessary. Rivet fix the folded top to the frame. Apply high-strength double-sided butyl sealing tape to the angled pans of the wall sheets. And also a bead of silicone sealant near the fold edge. Fit the roof sheet over the wall sheet. Pay particular attention to fitting the roof overlap rib over the wall overlap rib. If necessary, trim the underlap rib of the roof sheet so that it does not exceed the wall rib protrusions. Rivet fix roof panel pan at the wall fold pan. A rivet at each end of the panel pan is enough. Now rivet fix the roof overlap to the wall overlap rib on each side of the rib. Installing the remaining walling roof panels follows a similar process. It is important to check fit as you go. Mark the bend point in place with the roofing panel in position. Cut down the ribs of the walling panel. Pre-bend or bend in place to match the roof pitch. Trim bend overlap if necessary to ensure a flat fit. Screw fix or clip your wall panel to the frame. Measure, mark and cut roofing panel to ensure the correct overhang of the ribs. Cut 45-degree angle on the overlap rib end. Trim underlap rib so they will be able to accept the overlap rib of the next set of panels. Mark and trim the wall panel overlap rib to the roof panel's overlap rib height. Now fine-tune the roof panel's overlap and fit. Trim the roof panel underlap rib to create a corner with the wall underlap rib. Tape, silicone and pop rivet roof panel in place. Pop rivet roof overlay rib to wall overlay rib. Continue this procedure for the roof walling run. Let us consider walling and barge flashings as one process. Set up the vertical cap before the barge. In situations where the corner top face exceeds 240mm, install a top span 40 batted at the midpoint between the external wall and the first sheeting ridge to support the corner flashing. Use screws with a neoprene washer to ensure the right amount of flex between the sheets and the batten. Create a fold at the top end to allow for riveting the corner flashing to the roof batten. complete roof flashing detail as outlined earlier. For greater detail on the ridge capping process, refer back to earlier in the video. The final task is to remove any protective film left on the sheets and give the completed surface an overall clean to ensure any mist, potentially rust staining swarf is removed.